Check your internet and refresh this page. Classify and deny. Recent scholarship on medieval racism has challenged and seeks to overturn a prior consensus, largely formed in the 1990s, that race is a concept exclusive to modern Western thought. Scholars have debated what constitutes modernity, which varies from as early as the 1700s to as late as the 19th century. However, they have generally agreed that ancient and pre-modern history shows evidence of xenophobia, prejudice, and ethnocentrism, but not racism in the sense we understand today. For some, this knowledge brings a sense of relief and understanding. People classified by their skin color have long suffered in this artificial distinction, which has impacted their lives and access to resources. Those with darker skin, who understand their roots and history, continue to face barriers to rights and privileges that are freely available to others. The persistence of such systems, even in our time, points to underlying motives. Some propose that separating humans by race is natural, even beneficial, but the wise among us would ask, beneficial to whom? Reflecting on the past reveals that there were times, long before the founding of America, when people lived together without racial divisions. Greed has often motivated racial classifications, with power and wealth at stake. Settlers in America saw a land rich with resources but disregarded the indigenous people who lived there as primitive and ungodly. Convincing themselves of their superiority, settlers sought to cleanse the land of its inhabitants and viewed this mission as justified by their religious beliefs. The settlers, unfamiliar with the land and its challenges, devised systems to claim it and reshape its inhabitants' beliefs. Attempts were made to civilize the indigenous people. Those who resisted were often killed or relocated, and their children were stripped of their cultural identities. Despite these efforts, the settlers found they could not fully assimilate the indigenous peoples. The settlers soon realized they needed more help to conquer and cultivate the land. They attempted to enslave indigenous people, but when some groups proved resistant, they turned their focus to those they believed to be more easily subdued, those with darker skin. People with higher levels of melanin were enslaved, while others who rejected enslavement were confined to reservations. Europeans discovered Africa in the 1700s and saw it as a new resource. Many Africans were enslaved and brought to the Americas to provide free labor. The settlers' labor needs and the drive for profit led to the intensification of the transatlantic slave trade. Realizing that slavery was increasingly viewed as immoral, settlers sought to justify it by classifying Africans as non-human, thereby absolving themselves of guilt. They created racial classifications to justify their actions and avoid the label of godlessness. The case of dark-skinned Native Americans. What happened to dark-skinned Native Americans? Many were forcibly removed from their lands and transported to other countries as slaves. Later, some were brought back to the United States when slavery was outlawed elsewhere, only to be re-enslaved in America. Some African Americans today are surprised when DNA tests reveal that much of their ancestry traces back to America, not solely Africa. My family has known this for generations, relying on the wisdom of shaman, voodoo practitioners, and soothsayers. These connections, while sometimes dismissed as outdated, have granted us insights and blessings, enhancing our understanding of who we are. Wisdom that was discounted and defamed centuries past, now for which we understand the reasoning for its dismissal more clearly. While sometimes dismissed as outdated, these connections have granted us insights and blessings, enhancing our understanding of who we are. Some Native Americans with lighter skin are remiss of what has occurred and have, unfortunately, also adopted the poison of classification. Some may fear that aligning with Black Native Americans could diminish their status or access to benefits. However, by embracing truth, they may gain an understanding of their shared history and the benefits from that place. The tactic of divide and conquer has spread globally, though some nations, such as Australia, Scotland, Canada, and the Netherlands, are enacting laws that reflect a growing awareness of our shared humanity. Understanding and honoring this truth can lead to blessings. Among the 42 principles of Ma'at 3 stand out. I have never stolen anyone's land. I have not closed my eyes to truth, and I have not made anyone cry. These ideals, seldom discussed in Western religions, offer guidance that some may find challenging. We invite others to embrace this age of mentality. Reflecting on these truths could bring a sense of peace and purpose and deepen one's understanding